All right, what's up, family? Art Morrison III here with United Home Relief with the first video to a 5-video installment I wanted to shoot for you guys, just for subscribing to our email list, just for engaging with our content, and just for joining our United Home Relief family. These are going to be the five top mechanisms, 5 highest level steps that I can give you to help you start, launch, and scale your real estate business. And starting with number one. Number one is creating a brand. Creating a brand is extremely important because it creates the legitimacy and validity that people honestly require you to have in the real estate world, because you're dealing with such big money. You're dealing with such important events in people's lives, whether you're buying their house, whether you're selling them a house, whether you're partnering with them on a deal. The more legit you can seem early on in your career, the easy it will make things go. One thing or one story that I often tell is that when I first started my business, I remember driving, so happy, driving to go see an off-market property that someone responded to our marketing about. They wanted to sell us this house, and they were a little skeptical, but they finally agreed. And halfway driving this 30-minute drive to go see about this person's house, they called or texted rather, I forgot, but they told me not to come because when they Googled our business, nothing came up. They did not like that. They said it was like a scam. They got nervous. They chickened out because when they looked us up, they couldn't find anything. Fast forward, this actually happened a second time, which is when we started implementing branding and the importance of branding into our business. And when we did, when we started teaching it, when we started like really, when I first started my real estate business, actually, I wasn't even doing it under United Home Relief, right? I was doing it under my main company, which is Morrison Enterprise, which is just a company I have that owns everything. I figured I can own all the real estate. And boy, was I wrong. Because once I locked in on actually creating a brand, name, color, logo, font, everything, I'm gonna list here on the checklist that I'm gonna provide to you in this video and in this email. But once I started doing that, everything became easier. Getting offers accepted became easier. Raising capital became easier. Finding partners became easier. Getting funding for my business became easier. Having a solid brand makes everything easier. And I'm going to walk you through exactly what steps you should take via this checklist in order to make your brand legitimate, specifically to the Google search. So number one, we will definitely need to make sure you have a business name. Okay, cool. So you have your business name. This is really important, but it's obviously not good enough. If people search that name and nothing comes up, then again, they could back out of deals or decide not to do business with you. So along with that name, the second thing I like to do is have a logo. Now, as a company, United Home Relief, we're on our second logo. Our old logo, which you can see here, actually was a house with like kind of a globe in it. Very straightforward. It told a story here. But again, with time, sort of like fashion, graphic design changes. Okay, if you look at Pepsi, McDonald's, you look at all these different brands, their logos change over time to keep up with the time so they don't seem outdated. Our logo recently underwent a change. I can share an example below of our brand guidelines, but we recently changed ours to something a little bit more abstract that sort of told a different story, a story of luxury, a story of success. Because when we created this logo in 2018, times were much different than when we upgraded our logo in 2024. Now, you can create a logo on your own using Canva. They actually have an AI tool that allows you to create a logo just by telling it what you want it to look like. And there's plenty of other tools online like it. I would just Google AI logo creation and a ton of resources will come up. The logo is ultimately going to be the face of your business, okay? A name without a face is null and void, right? We need to have some sort of face. If you go around handing out a business card or a brochure, right? If you can imagine your most perfect business, an office, there's some sort of symbol that tells everybody who this is or what this business is without even having to say the name. And this is going to be really important, right? That's ultimately what a brand is. Your logo is going to be the foundation, the main pillar of your brand, okay? Your logo is going to include your color. It's going to include the shapes and curves that ultimately describe your business. And a lot of times it's going to include the name as well. So you have a name and you have a logo. The next thing that I would do in this order is create a social media presence. Can't type today, media. The reason why I like creating a social media presence is because this, without spending any money, is the freest way to immediately be searchable on Google. When you have a brand or you're trying to do business with somebody, a lot of times people might not even Google you first. They might Facebook you or Instagram you first to determine if you're present in that world. Social media is the easiest way to create legitimacy and validity within your business at absolutely zero cost. In fact, you don't even need to be that active on there. You don't even need to have that many posts to show someone, hey, we are a real business. Although I would suggest that you have a specific schedule of posting, letting everyone know, hey, we're still here and we're offering our services. But I'll save that lesson for another video. Now, this next box on the checklist, I combined two things, and that is your fonts and colors. And again, this is everything you imagine when you think of a brand. If you think of Saint Laurent, if you think of Apple, if you think of, like I said, McDonald's, Nike, the fonts that they use in all of their marketing, on their brochures, in their commercials, is very important to them, because it's one thing to have a name and a face and a social media presence, but now when you have all those things need to be telling a story. And in order to tell a story, you need words and pictures, and in order to properly populate those stories or those words and pictures, it comes down to literally the shape of your words, which is your typography or your font, as well as the colors that you're using. Very obviously, we went with green, specifically a money green. I don't have to explain why we use the money green. Obviously, if you're in real estate, a lot of people use silvers, gold, and you can easily Google and look up the definition of these colors or how these colors make people feel as per marketing data in the history of businesses. It's very easily Googleable information. I went with green. Some people go with blue, which stands for something else. I would stay away from red when it comes to real estate. A lot of people go black and gold, black and silver, as I said earlier. But again, it's all up to you. I've even seen like black and orange. Again, it's completely up to you. One of my mentors' companies is actually orange and blue, sort of like the New York Knicks, like orange, black, and blue. And I just love the look of their company, and I don't even know why. I'm sure if I Googled the meaning of those colors, I could find out. Like blue maybe means prosperity or something, who even knows. But again, the combination of colors is going to be completely up to you. The font that you choose to use is going to be completely up to you. The font is what creates consistency and familiarity, because if you're always using different fonts and different bolds and cursive some days, and again, when you're telling your message or telling your story, it's going to be hard for people to differentiate. Is this two different businesses? Is this one business? By always using the same font, someone can see a marketing material of yours and automatically know, oh, that's United Home Relief. Oh, that's XYZ Investments. Okay, so this is like very kind of psychological stuff, but also very important when launching your brand. So fonts and logos I wouldn't skip over, but once you pick something, stick to it for a long period of time. And this is how you build brand equity, we call it. All right, and last but not least on the checklist is a website. This is ultimately what's going to make you Googleable. If I made that word up, then I don't know, maybe I'll trademark it. But if I didn't make it up and you guys heard that word before, whatever, Googleable, this is going to be the biggest catalyst to you being Googleable. Now, a website does cost money. Everything else, I give you Canva. You can make a logo and choose a font and colors for free. Social media is free. Coming up with a business name is free. It just takes a little bit of time. Website might cost because you have to pay for the domain name, which I like to use GoDaddy.com to get my domain name. You have to pay for hosting, which I also get from GoDaddy, but there's other resources like HostGator and other things. Again, all that for another video. And then sometimes you have to pay for either a designer, like a physical person to design your website, or a platform that allows you to design it, drag and drop. They usually cost some sort of money monthly. But this is where you can put everything about you on a single page so that when people Google you, not only do they know you exist, but they can learn about you in one experience. Okay, social media has a lot of distractions. Okay, we want our social media to have that same effect, but it's very difficult. We don't control social media. Social media is not ours. It's Mark Zuckerberg's and whoever else's. Website allows us to control exactly what people are seeing and reading about our business. So starting a website that has our name on it, that has our logo, that is linked to our social media, uses the same font and colors throughout the entire website, and it matches our social media, and it matches our logo, and it matches our in-person marketing materials like postcards and brochures. This whole ecosystem is what's going to make you get more offers accepted, more partners want to partner with you, more businesses want to work with you, more people want to give you money, more people want to buy your house. This small checklist, very easy to execute, can be done in one day. By the time you get the next email from me, all of this can be done. I highly suggest you go through and make sure you are completing every single one of these for your brand so that you can get to the next step, which is going to be finding deals, evaluating those deals, and ultimately making offers. Okay, the name that's going to be on that contract when you put a contract on a house is going to matter to the seller. They want to know they're selling to somebody legitimate, and right here is step one of exactly how you get it done. So I hope this video helps you. I'm just having a short, simple, nobody said this is going to be like a groundbreaking video, but I can promise you that these five things, the majority of people do not do. In real estate or any industry, they skip this. They don't find the importance in it. I can tell you from $15 million of experience that this is going to be extremely important for your business. And by taking one day, okay, 24 hours to check off all five of these things off of your checklist, you will guaranteed, promise, you heard it here first, you will make people thirsty, okay, to do business with you. Absolutely thirsty to buy what you're selling, whatever that might be. It might be you buying houses, it might be you selling houses, it might be you raising capital, whatever it might be. Building a brand, having a solid brand, a good brand that is recognizable and reputable is going to be how you make, let me see, what did I title this video again? How you make everyone thirsty to do business with you by creating a killer brand. All right, so that's video one. I got 4 more videos coming your way. So make sure if this went to spam, you move it out of spam into your inbox so no other future valuable emails from us go to spam. And like I said, attached is the brand checklist that you just watched me create. I'm gonna attach it to you in the form of a PDF so you can print it out, put it up. And as you knock these things off, you can check them off and be proud. That was the other thing we didn't touch on. Having a brand creates a certain level of pride within your business. Okay, like I'm gonna add that to the checklist. Have pride in your brand. There's nothing like walking around knowing you have a legit business with a legit logo, business name, social media fonts, website. I'm even gonna put bonus. I'm gonna put the bonus before the have pride. Bonus. These can be done in Canva for free. You can have them printed at Staples. That's gonna cost money. It's gonna cost money to print these. But to create them, you can create them using Canva, the resource I gave you earlier in this video, at no additional cost. All right, so again, we're almost at 20 minutes on this video, or just over 20 minutes. I hope this 20 minutes helps someone just get a little kick in the butt to say, all right, you know what, let me go ahead and start my brand. Whether you have an LLC or not, whether you have an EIN or a bank account or not, you can start working on your brand today. And by the time you get the next email and the next video in this next 5 video series, you should be done with creating your brand. And you should, again, the last checkbox here, have pride in your brand. There's nothing more comforting than knowing that my business is legitimate because I have a brand behind it. I have something to show for it. It has a name and a face of its own. It's literally like having a kid, except, okay, it's nothing like having a kid, but you guys get what I'm saying, right? You're creating an additional entity with its own name and own identity, and that's going to be huge for the next steps in your business, specifically your real estate business. So signing off, Art Morrison III here. As always, like, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you aren't already. Follow on Instagram at Art Morrison III. I'm always giving away game like this. I'll see you guys on the next email. Peace.